I still don't know what the fuck combined firepower does, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Like, someone plays it, I go into like a fugue state, and I'm just like, okay, and they're just fucking playing cards.
I fucking see that card. I see Ghidorah. I set out, bro.
You could do anything you wanted during combined firepower, and I would not question it. I'd be like, yeah, okay, that's really cool.
It's weird that you're on the table doing jumping jacks.
Yeah,
your
like,
opponent's doing magic tricks in front of you. It's
Yeah.
like, yup, combined firepower.
yeah.
What is up, Response on Players? Welcome to the Response on Play podcast. We're out here in Denver, and check out my sweet little plane. Don't pay any attention to the horse. Anyway, I'm Andrew, and of course, I'm joined by
Steph, and I think we should pay a lot of attention to the horse. He's kind of scary.
Jake, the horse is cool, but I'm the captain, so I'm cooler.
Bryan, always a bridesmaid.
And James. That horse has never hurt anybody.
I can't wait for that horse to just come alive and just wreak havoc.
Well,
And you know what?
Too.
Oh yeah, legend has it.
I mean, I'm safe up here in my plane, so you guys, fend for yourself.
I think Jake's in the danger zone right now. He has killed once, he'll kill again.
You're the horse.
Who knows? Who can say?
But today we got a couple things to discuss. Of course, we want to talk about the Denver Regional. I wasn't there, but the rest of the team was. But before we get to that, there's a couple of small things we want to talk about. First thing, the Street Fighter starter decks, Challenger Series decks. We actually finally got a date for them. The decks are going to be releasing on July 18th, which is pretty exciting. It's about a month before we're getting Turtles, which Turtles is going to be out in August. We got Ryu and Luke in one deck, and Chun-Li and Jamie in the other deck. So it's great to finally have a date for these decks because, I'm kind of excited for these just because we went over the characters a couple episodes ago. I'm pretty excited for Jamie. I don't know about you guys.
I'm excited for Luke and Ryu. I think they're both going to be really cool.
Ryu especially, because Ryu, like when you went over the characters, Ryu looks really good. So, like, being able to just, draw 3 and then put a card back on top?
Yeah, I believe that's what it was. I'd have to look at it again. That sounds correct.
Hopefully punches people.
Yeah, well, yeah, pretty much. Punch, kick, all those things.
Ready for this Ryu deck to just be focused on ranged attacks, and it's just Hadouken spam.
That'd be sick.
Honestly, it would be a nice way to just turn on its head. It's like, oh yeah, punches, kicks. Oh, why are these attacks ranged, bro? But yeah, so pretty excited about the Street Fighter decks. July 18th, mark your calendars. It's when the decks are coming out. And the next thing, I wanted to quickly go over the new reward store on the UGN. The UGN has been around for a good while, and while it was cool, it is cool to get points for playing at events, whether it be local and competitive events, and being able to spend those points to get promo cards. It's been as time has just gone on, people have kind of just gotten sick of it just being promo cards, considering the fact that back in the Jasco days, you could redeem your pack wrappers for playmats and such. And then with the UGN, you couldn't do that at the start, and for a long time it was just promo cards, which again was fine, but eventually just got kind of dull and no one really spent their points. But with this change to the reward store, there's going to be playmats. There's going to be, I believe they mentioned that they wanted to add the stat dice that came from the Class Reunion boxes, along with other product. Right now, at the time of this recording, you can get the Cowboy Bebop retro box that might be sold out, but you can get the Challenger decks, the Trigun Stampede Challenger decks. So there's some more variety of product to get from the reward store, which is great to see. on top of them revamping the point economy, there's still promo cards on the shop, and a typical promo card is going to be at 120 points, and then you can get 60 points by attending a locals event, by doing a quick play, like holding your own like sort of get together like at your home. Get 10 loyalty points. You can get 240 by attending a regional, 480 by attending a worlds, 60, another 60 points for attending a pre-release. And if you do any side events at regionals, it is 60 per event. So there are still ways to get plenty of points to get the product that you want from the reward store, because they did increase the price of certain products. You'll have to go check out the UGN store to check out the prices there. On top of all of that, starting with the turtle set in August, you can expect to see like QR codes that come with products that you can scan to redeem points to your UGN account. You can get 120 from a booster box, 60 from a challenger deck, and 30 from a starter deck. And again, that's starting with turtles. So it's gonna be a little bit before you can see that in the product. But it is cool to see that they are rewarding you with these points as you're buying their product. But what are your guys' thoughts on these changes?
So as we were leaving Denver, I actually heard people talking about the Cowboy Bebop decks being sold out. So seems like the community's pretty excited about it. It was like they announced it and people already just bought the hell out of them.
Yeah, I actually got a Trigun Stampede deck. I was actually contemplating getting like a Bebop box.
Nice.
But they were sold out. I was at work and I like opened up my phone and I was like, oh, the things are dropped. Nice. I went to the store, like the Bebop boxes and stuff were just gone.
Yeah, we Pokemon out here.
Yeah, the problem is I was just fist fighting James for them and not random strangers.
True.
But I mean, I think the changes are really good. I like the idea of sealed product and mats and stuff. I ordered some Cowboy Bebop Challenger decks. I want to try to pull an Alt Art Spike. Sad I missed out on the retro box. I'm looking for Hacker Extraordinaires from that set currently.
And cross punches just because, he copes.
Yeah, and bang. But yeah, I think overall I like the changes. Like I like the idea of the changes. I think we'll have to see how it keeps progressing. There'll be some lulls, there'll be some highs because not everything can be a hit. But overall, I think it's very good change.
Yeah. I did forget to mention that the rewards are rotating weekly with some exceptions to certain
The new
like
characters.
yes. So the new Mitchell Chimino and Nick Reagan characters, I believe they are going to be on the UGN for the rest of March. But they will rotate out going into the new month. As well as there was some other exception that they were extending the time on, but I'm blanking as to which, but it's going to be on like a weekly rotation for product.
Yeah, you might want to pick those guys up because apparently they're really good, and I had no idea before we came to Denver.
Oh,
Which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
That's a future sneak peek, everybody.
Yeah.
I know that the mats are also on.
Mm-hmm.
The 25th anniversaries were also available. They were still available when I checked, which was on, I think, Thursday. And there's still a couple of challenger decks left, but I didn't really need anything much. I think I grabbed a couple of the promo cards. And one of the promo cards is until the end of March, but I don't remember which one now, which of the three that weren't characters.
Yeah, I'm blanking. Oh, I think one's Magic Assault, which it's got Caleb on it. It's the one that can become a throw.
Yeah, it's the becomes a throw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that might have been it.
Because I got my playset of that card because I plan to play that card. So
yeah, I think this idea is really cool. I mean, I've not really spent points on anything except some of the random alt arts that they've come out like with the death rattle and stuff like that. So I've got thousands of points that are just kind of sitting there not doing anything. So I think giving us different things to spend our points on that are not just promos that we already have, I think is a really good idea.
Agreed. And to be fair, I did like that they were adding alt variants to existing cards because that's very cool. But it wasn't enough, right? But it is very nice to see this change because this was they had a survey, I believe it was at the end of 2024, I believe. And there was a lot of feedback regarding the reward store on UGN. And it's glad that it's a good thing that they kind of
Actioned on it.
yes, thank you. I was trying to find the word. We were heard. Like they gave us a survey to fill out. We voiced our opinions and they listened. So it's a good thing to see.
Yeah,
For sure, for sure.
Big plus one. Honestly, I'm really glad that they are listening, and I think we a lot of times don't give them enough credit. This type of stuff is awesome. First time I've spent meaningful amount of points in a while.
Same.
So it's pretty neat. When I got done getting some of this, I went, I might have to actually look at potentially saving my points for certain stuff. That's interesting.
Speaking of saving certain points, there was some like rumor mill setup where they were talking about some of these people who've been playing the game for a really long time, who have like a lot of points, that they were putting some of these like retro products and these other things on here to kind of drain the swamp of points, as it were, and then post some of the things that have been asked about for like a really long time, like the custom playmat that they used to do, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, I hope those come back so bad.
Mhm.
Same.
They would be
Those
cool,
are really cool.
Yeah.
but that's just like rumor mill stuff. I don't know if that's true. It would be cool if that's true. If it's not cool, like if it doesn't happen, I'm still cool with it because I still like the changes they've done so far.
Yep.
But it was a few people talking about that I remember hearing from them.
Yeah, the custom playmats was like the big thing from like the old Jasco rewards system. I don't really recall the other rewards of that system. The big thing was the playmat, and I would love to see if that made a return, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah, the choose a
what was
card
this?
art and they had a system before we started, James. That basically you could spend a whole bunch of rewards points or your loyalty point stuff, and you could order a custom playmat from Jasco. It had to be a card art,
Mm-hmm.
but you would basically tell them what card art, and then you would get that as your mat.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, it would have basically UFS's like old tagline. It was what was it?
Something fight anywhere.
Yeah,
I'd have
anytime,
to look.
like fight anytime, anywhere, UFS or something. That would be on the mat as well with the old UFS logo.
Mhm.
Interesting.
It was really cool, and there is someone locally who has like a Darkstalkers mat. And every time, and he uses it like regularly. And I don't know, it's just so cool for me to just kind of look over and see that mat. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I'd take it back to Wrath map.
Yeah, there's plenty of art from the
Mm.
new set, but also just some old arts. Like if it was standard legal, that's one thing, but like if it was just art that they've done, man, there's some cool cards that I'm like, I'd put that on a card and not be upset at all. Like I'd take that card, put it on a mat, and I'd play that mat.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'd probably put like sweeping daggers on that mat and traumatize people as soon as they sit down.
It's a good art.
It is good art.
I gotta ask. Speaking of art, what's with Patchwork Baby? This like new art. Like I know it's a joke. But, like I don't get the joke. I don't understand. Is this a reference I'm not getting?
Are you talking about Baby New Year?
Yeah,
It's
what
a
is that?
baby.
yeah, it's
Okay,
Baby New
but
Year.
like, what's the joke with putting it on Patchwork Baby?
Because
It says baby on
Baby
it.
in the name.
Did it come
It's
out on the New Year though?
Yeah,
It was
the
to
promo
celebrate
came
the
out
new-
in like
it was
January.
to celebrate the new year. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. See, I thought it came out in like February, and I was like, I don't, I'm not understanding what the significance of this baby is. Like,
Steph's
to be
brain
fair-
broke.
Their post February would have been the beginning of the new 2025 season.
Mm-hmm.
So-
it was. I guess it just was a little bit of a stretch for my brain, and I was just like, "What? But why?" I didn't really understand.
you were thinking so hard on it. Your brain was just like, you know what?
Well, it's because my brain expected, like, they just took baby and were like, "Yeah, put a baby on there." Like, okay.
Yeah, they put Baby New Year on there.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
that has so little to do with the card. Like I expected maybe like a little baby doll that had like little patches, like Sally from like Nightmare Before Christmas, but it's like a baby, like a little plushy baby or something. I don't know. Like I was just very confused by the design. I didn't get it.
Look, it's a baby in a 2025 sash and a top hat. Like, what do you want?
I know. I just was like, I thought I was like missing some reference. I don't know.
Apparently, you're missing a lot of it.
I
like-
guess so. Yeah.
Just
I'm missing
miss-
something.
Yeah,
You're just missing the pureness of having a baby in a top hat with a sash that says
I mean, that's
2025.
fine, but what the f does that have to do with Patrick Baby except for the word baby being in it? Like,
this broke Steph.
Best they got, bro.
I guess
There's
Yeah.
only like 2 baby cards.
flying around with my babies, like there's
Floating-
like
floating
around
like
my
there's
babies.
there's floating babies, you know, like so it's like
That's dangerous. That's negligence.
they
You
could have
can't
been
just
like
be,
dolls.
floating
I
these
don't know.
babies.
Why-
Baby 202.
Why
That's
pick
like the only
Patchwork
other one.
Baby then? Like,
Because it's good.
Oh,
That's
is that
actually
why?
a
Good card.
Brian, that's too many babies.
Well, it's baby number 202. You don't have to
Yeah.
show 202 babies.
Yeah, but that is too many. That implies too many babies. That's the problem.
That's a lot of babies.
That's a lot of babies.
No, Patchwork Baby is just like actually a good card, so getting a promo
Mhm.
of it's cool.
Yeah.
And also they could do the like New Year's baby thing.
Yeah, I actually played Patrick Baby like all weekend in Denver, kind of in a roundabout way.
Card's very good.
I did too, in a less roundabout way.
Card's very good.
Yeah.
But speaking of missing things,
And Denver.
guess what I missed? The Denver Regional.
Mm.
So why don't you guys tell me about how the Denver Regional went? Steph, starting with you.
why would you start with me? Why?
Because you're
Why
the
would
first
you-
one on the list.
He's doing it to get the pain out of the way.
You
When
know
I
what?
tell
That's part of it.
I had the biggest crash out on our friend, like in the friend group. I didn't win not a single game that entire weekend. And I kind of expected it with like Pike, 'cause it was like I didn't really practice her very much, and I just wasn't feeling the vibe. Like literally, I sat down for my first game, and I like shuffled and I set my character out and I like drew my hand, and it was fine. But it was just like I had this moment where I was like, I think I miss my wife. I just couldn't stop thinking about Godzilla. Like, God, I just wish I was playing Godzilla right now. Even though, like, I wasn't going to do well on Godzilla. Like, he kind of just ends up in, like, the high mid-range. I just didn't want to play Pike. It wasn't the vibe. So I didn't win a single game, and I wasn't surprised. But all my opponents were really nice, and it was really fun. And then, side events were great. I love side events. I'm a big proponent of side events. So, like, okay, I take that back. I did win the PvE side event.
Hey.
We did beat the boss in every side
the
event that I
boss.
played. But yeah, we did like a couple sealed draft, and I didn't win any of those. And I was playing against our friend Nick, and I just I got so close to winning, and it just didn't happen. And he kind of clutched something out, and I was like so close to just like throwing my deck across the room. Like I was so upset.
Pike was
I-
getting
so
Suzuki.
I feared for Nick's safety on that one. I was sitting right there with the camera and stuff, and I
Yeah.
was just like, "Oh no, Nick, run,
Yeah.
run!"
As someone who played Toya and experienced the wrath, yeah, I definitely also would have just ran for
Yeah,
it.
dude, it was like the Toya rage because I was just so fed up. I was like, I can't win any. I think I even said that. I was like, I just can't win anything this weekend, like at all. I mean, I was throwing like the biggest baby fit ever. I was the huge crybaby. I'm so sorry if you had to play against me, Jennifer.
Had to spend the weekend with you.
Yeah, I was not mean to anybody, like, at all, but like I was sure being a crybaby about everything. Like,
Really doing the Godzilla first form of just like just throwing your
yeah,
fit,
literally
destroying everything.
just throwing a tantrum. But yeah, other than losing literally everything I attempted, that was the worst part. Is I was trying really hard too. It just was like, even in draft, it was just not happening. But yeah, other than losing everything completely, I had a really good time. It was great seeing everybody. It was great interviewing people. I think by the time you're listening to this, we probably have the top 4 interview out there. So go listen to those guys talk. Got to hang out with a bunch of friends. Side events were really, really cool. I'm looking forward to Universus doing a lot more side events because it did soften the blow a little bit to to drop after my 4th loss in a row, and then just be like, you know what? I'm gonna go buy a box and play Seal Draft and lose to that, and then I'm gonna go. Then I need to win, so I guess I'm gonna go kill this boss with 6 other people, and one of them is playing Vax and gives +8 to everybody's attacks. So like we're gonna win.
Heck yeah.
You weren't like when you said the biggest crash out. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was. So you missed that, Andrew.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't hear any of this. So
No.
I
You didn't
was
miss
like,
that.
Yeah.
yeah. I just kind of like throughout the events, the weekend, I was asking everyone, I was like, hey, how's everyone doing? Like, record wise, I was like, hey, how's everyone doing? What's going on? And then by the event's end, I asked the same question, and then Steph just sent me like a sad emoji.
Oh,
and I'm like,
the crying poodle
The
dog
crying
thing?
cat.
yeah, it's
Or
like,
dog,
oh,
right? Dog.
You gotta edit that
Yeah,
in, Andrew.
yeah. I was like, oh, that good, huh?
Yeah, it was rough. I was a big crybaby. I'll admit it, but it was fun, dude. The food at the hotel was real good. I'm gonna glaze that food so hard. That breakfast was delicious. The omelets, oh my god, super good. And
Was very
also,
good.
I got In-N-Out, and that was tasty. We also went to Casa Bonita, which was sick. So
That's
I'm
true.
gonna
We
stop
did that as
yapping.
well.
That was my experience. I'm gonna stop talking on this podcast where you're listening to me talk.
I mean,
Okay,
fair
well,
enough.
anyway,
like-
I guess we'll just sit here now. That was
Yeah,
everybody. That
we're
was
just
everything that
saying,
mattered.
Yeah.
Response on play, not known for yapping even a little bit.
We've never talked once in our lives.
Anyway,
oh,
that's funny. That was like probably the most animated I've ever been on this podcast. Just talking about
Yeah,
how
it's like
hard
Talking
I
about
got my ass
crashing
beat.
out.
Yeah, crashing out on freaking Patchwork Baby, and now you're crashing out on your Denver experience. Like,
Yeah.
I think you need therapy.
After Denver, I kind of do. All my opponents were really nice. I did say that. They had really cool decks. I played against someone. Oh, so his name is Ezra, I think. He played an Allura on Void deck that was really, really cool, and he like wiped the floor with me, and it was really fun. And I was like kind of like bantering with him a little bit. I couldn't tell if he was like receptive to the banter, so I hope it didn't come off as like me just being ultra salty, which like I was a little salty, but that was my 4th game at the time, so I just kept being like, please kill me so I can drop. I don't want to play this game anymore. And I genuinely
Oh,
meant
no.
it. Like in my heart, I truly meant it. Like please just end my life, Ezra. And then he did. But
and then here you are talking about it on the podcast.
And
Man,
then-
reincarnation. How about that?
And then he did. I have not. His Allura on Void was really, really cool. He was playing Combined Firepower, which
Classic.
that is a classic. I know James has been tooling around with Allura, so I don't know, maybe something to look at. I can't remember anything else that super stuck out. I didn't get to play any of the champion decks, but I heard those were busted. And now I'm gonna actually stop talking.
Well, thank you for sharing and crashing out. Not live on stream, but closest
stream.
the closest thing to. All right, James, how'd you do? Clearly, well, not clearly, but you've had to have done better, right? Because it seems like Steph just had a horrible time.
Correction, I didn't have a horrible time. I had a great time.
I'm sorry.
I
Record wise,
lost.
had
Yeah.
a horrible time. Crashed
Record-wise,
out.
worse so far. Continue.
My bad.
We're
My liege.
So far.
We can get worse.
James, how'd you do?
Not much better. Oh boy. we sure did win the first game and then lose all the rest of them.
Oh no. No.
Yeah, no, it just comes down to practice and not having enough time to fix the deck. Like I was really busy between Nats and then now I just had a ton of stuff going on, and so I really didn't have time to practice and kind of figure out what the deck needed to do. I played Shadow 4 and had a pretty solid like idea for the deck, and I think what it wants to do, it does well, but it just wasn't consistent enough. I had either not enough attacks, not enough defense. Like there was just different. Each match had like a different problem. Like I wasn't able to figure out. My biggest problem that has always been is just Godzilla. I can, for some reason, just can never beat that character, and I managed to play 2 of them over the weekend, so that was a lot of fun. Hello, Godzilla players out there. Please stop.
Hello.
Hello. But other than that, I went 1-4, I think, before I dropped. I got to play Jake. That was fun. Made him sweat real hard, even though there was no stakes. It was all his the whole time. He knew that, but his deck was way better than mine. But I don't know. It was fun. I liked playing Shoto. I would probably try to fix him up and maybe take him to another event if I can't figure out Ulura, because that's the character that I would like to play. But side events were fun. We beat the boss. Got to play drafts. Got to beat Steph in draft. So
yes, rubbing salt in the wound.
James?
Yes, yeah.
Other than that, the event itself was super fun. Going hanging out with everybody. Interviewing Andrew Porat, of course, was great. I played against him a couple times, kind of talk at every event. So it was nice seeing him finally get his first win. Congrats again on that. But I had a great time.
Well, that's good to hear, because it was starting to sound like you didn't have the best of time.
Day one. Day 2 was fine.
Okay, fair enough. Which is kind of crazy, because I helped with testing your Shoto list a little bit, and it seemed like it was doing fine in practice, which is kind of just how it works, right? In practice, it's like, oh yeah, this makes sense, it's flowing, and then when it comes to game day, it just craps the bed. It just doesn't want to work the way you want it to. Like ratios feel like they're off. You're not seeing enough attacks or whatever the case may be. It's fine in practice, but when it actually comes time to kind of show its stuff, it just drops the ball.
Yeah, I was kind of hyping up. I was just like, this deck kind of does everything. It's got hand destruction, it's got stats, it's got stage interaction, it's got asset and action interaction. Like it kind of does everything.
It's got the ability to lose.
Yeah, and it just
obviously.
Yeah. But it just, I don't know, none of it really clicked together during that. I think it just comes down to playtime. I just didn't have enough reps with the deck for it to do what I wanted it to do.
I didn't just have the lines memorized from practice.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's fair. Time and practice really makes a difference. It really goes a long way. So, as evident with me during Nats, didn't get enough practice with Sasha, and I did pretty bad. So, I can relate to that a bit. All right, Bryan, what about you? Please tell me you did better
than those two. Yeah, absolutely.
Not even subtly.
Did I do good? No, I did pretty poorly. I think I was 2-3-1 when I decided to drop. Admittedly, that was early stuff. I think I tied. Oh no, I definitely was 1-3-2 or something like that. Like I won at least one game for sure, and I definitely tied 2 of them. Because I remember my first round I played against another Ghidorah, and we tied.
Oh, that had to be a fun mirror match.
It was cool. It was definitely interesting. We just couldn't. He got very unlucky game 1, and so it was mine regardless. So he called it early, which was smart, because if he didn't, I'm stuck not killing him for a little while, but I'm almost guaranteed to win. basically only built one on the first turn, going first, and then I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna build 6. Like, you can't do anything about it. Like, what are you gonna do to me? And just kind of like was allowed to stay ahead. And then he like tried to play an attack, checked bad, and like just wasn't allowed to play. And I had my Togoro's dominance on the field. I'm like, if you use your foundation at all, I'm getting rid of it. Like, don't press any buttons on it because I will just get rid of it and say, sorry, you really still need to build. And I would have just bullied him into non-existence. So he scooped it, and then he was able to take game 2, and then we just didn't have enough time for a game 3 at that point. Like, it was like 5 minutes until time, and like, we are not built to kill people like that. Especially not someone like Ghidorah, who's basically says kill us 3 times. But so it was that. Then I played a Godzilla that I tied with. That was a lot of fun. And then I'm trying to remember who else I played. I did the coolest deck I played against. That there was 2 really cool decks, I should say. I remember I finally got to play against Barlow. He top 8'd. He was playing Tyrion Darrington.
Yep.
On Order, I believe. Because I believe it was George Zhang on Life. And that list was really cool. And I don't think it was a bad matchup for me. I definitely think I misplayed a couple times that made it harder. But for what his deck wanted to do and for what my deck wanted to do, he had a better late game, and I'm also trying to get to the late game. And so once that happened, then both of us basically were not doing anything. Like, we were just kind of stalling until that late game stage, and then his was just way stronger than mine with more answers to what I might be able to do about his. I definitely think it was maybe weak to early aggression, which is why I think it lost to Nick Reagan, the character, not the person. And also maybe to certain turns out of like Mitchell Tremino. But definitely, I thought the Cabal's Ruin totally made sense. It was cool to see. Badgie.
Yeah.
Was definitely interesting. I had somebody at my locals. I was talking about it, and they're like, "Well, why would you put that in there?" And like, because it's just a +3/+3.
Yep.
You just give your once per turn damage that both players can use, and then you commit it for 3 speed, and then they don't get to use the damage pump. And then like, I was told he had a Cerritos in the deck. I don't know. I didn't see it. He didn't check it or build it.
Could have been lying to you for all we know.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. But that was a lot of fun. It went down to, it was just one game basically. That game took about 40 minutes, and then we were playing through, but we were both at a spot where we could not afford to lose, and we couldn't afford to tie. If we tied, we were not making top 8. So one of us needed to win that. And then basically, once it got down to the wire there, I was like, well, you've won, because I'm not going to beat you necessarily yet. Maybe I could have won this in a turn or 2, but you've won the previous one. I'll just give it up because they're like 1 minute on time. And I conceded over. Basically right when they were like, hey, timing around, I was like, you won the first one. There's no reason to play it out. Get 10 minutes, go to the bathroom, all that stuff. And then I played a Mitchell Tremino deck. That was really cool. I don't know how close it was to the other ones or the ones that made it. I didn't recognize the guy, but he was really nice. Definitely was a cool list. If I hadn't decided to try and kill him and commit to a kill turn, I don't think that he kills me when he did. I think that game goes on for quite a while longer. And if I had thought about playing, he went into deadlock with a way to get out of deadlock. And if I had been smart, I could have double vial seizing. So I vial seizinged, and I had another one in hand, but I was saving it for later in case I needed to just force in another 6 or so damage, like 6 or 7 damage on the cheap. But if I had just played it, -4 means he doesn't get to block my last move and I kill him. In fact, probably means he doesn't get to block any of my moves, and he just dies.
You vile
Um,
sows, huh?
Yeah, vile sozing. If I had used both hands instead of just one hand,
Yeah.
if I had double bad touched him, I think I would have won. But I didn't,
Whoa.
so I lost. But he was really nice. He was a really cool deck. His character is cool. It definitely was interesting to see that. And Darrington was the character that was not on my radar until he kicked my teeth in, and I was like, wow, this was dope. This was so cool.
Yeah, Tyrion like is just a character that looks really cool, and it is nice to have another asset character, considering that Mimic got Arata to the ground. So like if you like playing with assets, you could probably find a good home with Tyrion.
And also, he feels weak, like weak early and then really strong late, because he basically then has 2 stages to play with,
Yeah,
which was a big deal. Like not like what was going on with Mimic, where it just felt like he had one really strong stage that you weren't really allowed to interact with easily. He still has a stage that you're allowed to interact with that he has to use to pay for stuff. So like in turns 2 and 3, and kind of in turn 4, like depending on how his turn in hand looked, like I was almost in deadlock, and he had like 6 foundations and it was turn 4, but he also had like 6 assets. But if I committed down his foundations, it was hard for him to try and play the rest of the game because he still had to pay for everything.
yeah. No, it makes sense. But overall, sounds like you had a good time, right?
Yep. I dropped after the Mitchell Chimino match, which was my 6th round, and then basically took 7th round off. They were doing draft and stuff. I kind of just hung out with them and chatted some. Hung out with Sam Tate there. It was a lot of fun for that. And we kind of just palled around. And then on day 2, we filmed a lot of content, which at this point, I think basically all of it's up. I'm not sure what is or isn't up as of the time of it as this video posts. I won't know what all's up at that point, but I believe it'll be effectively everything, or about to be everything. And yeah, and other than my poor showing in the actual event, the event itself was a lot of fun outside of the tournament.
I mean, that's good to hear. Considering, James and Steph sounded like they were kind of at their wits' end. Mostly Steph, but
I mean, I accepted my fate. After a certain point, I kind of just laid down and was fine with dying.
oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty disappointed because I thought it was a pretty cool deck. But
Oh yeah,
you know,
like
it is what
I
it
can
is.
I can understand that, like for sure. Like I would feel the same way for like 100%.
I think
I
that
wasn't expecting too much. I think it's just lack of practice. You expect to not do too well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that helped with me because first of all, was not expecting to do well with Pike because I'd played maybe 5 games with her. And second of all, I didn't think that Pike had the sauce. She's just worse Amir. But I was just stubborn and was like, I don't want to play Amir. And then also, like, there was just so many triggers that I was missing. Like, I just didn't expect to do good with her. What I didn't expect was to also lose draft and win, like, nothing at all. So
Oh,
that's what made it, like, sad.
kind of sting. Yeah, kind
Sad
of
for
sting a
me.
bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Put the
Oh,
salt in
Yeah.
the wound.
so when I say I didn't win a game, like, I really want to, like, hammer this in. I didn't win a single game. Like, not even, like, not whatever they're called, like, where it's, like, you go 2-0 or whatever. Like, I didn't even win, like, one of those games. Like, I got 2-0'd basically every time.
Basically every
I
time? Isn't
did.
every time.
One of them I don't remember if I tied or not. I can't remember. No, I wouldn't have tied. I can't remember. I may have
If
won
you went to
one.
3.
I possibly won one of those games, but it was like a technicality. Like, whoever I was playing, I think, like, super messed up or something like that. It was like one of those wins where it didn't really feel like a win. You were just like, oh, you should have won that, man.
Every win feels like a win when you win.
I
I
suppose that's
take
true.
every single W. I don't care if my opponent like choked on a shoelace or something.
Weird thing to choke on, but anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wait, why are they choking on a shoelace?
because
It
he's
doesn't
choking
matter.
him.
I don't worry about it. If it means I get the win, I get the win. Now, Steph, tell me how you feel about combined firepower.
I honestly, I still don't know what the fuck combined firepower does, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Like, someone plays it, I go into like a fugue state, and I'm just like, okay, and they're just fucking playing cards.
I can see that card. I see Ghidorah. I set out, bro.
You could do anything you wanted during combined firepower, and I would not question it. I'd be like, yeah, okay, that's really cool.
It's weird that you're on the table doing jumping jacks. But...
Yeah,
Your
like-
opponent's doing magic tricks in front of you. It's
Yeah.
like, yup, combined firepower.
Yeah. Like, I'm not
So
joking. I
good.
don't know what the hell that card does. Like, and I don't even care to learn. Like, just play it. Just do your thing. I'm not gonna question it.
Yeah, my time at Denver, I had fun. I did better than I've done at any other event, so that was pretty hype. Wish I had done a little bit better. My last game definitely felt like I could have won that game. Maybe a couple things maybe on my part, but also checking bad. But we'll get into that in a second. And for those listening at home, for those reading along, the captainhood here at Response on Play is actually pretty fluid. As we've talked about before, the rule is typically if 3 or more members are at an event and you do better at an event than everyone else at the event, you get to be the new captain or retain your captainship until the next event where those criteria are met. And that has a lot of meaning and implications behind the scenes. Don't want to bore you with all that, but all that to say, I'm the new captain. Yeah, overall, at Denver, I had a lot of fun. I conned the entire team plus Nick to going to Casa Bonita. Was a blast. Had a lot of fun.
I'm so sad I wasn't there.
Yeah, I feel bad for Andrew because the main reason I wanted to go is there actually used to be one in our hometown. You could actually, like, if you drive by the location, they still have like the building and stuff. Like, it's not torn down or anything, so you can still like see where it was. And like we actually used to go there a bunch as kids, like 15 plus years ago. So I had mentioned it to my mom. I was like, yeah, we're going to Denver, probably going to try to hit up Casa Bonita. My mom, she goes, they have a Casa Bonita in Denver? And I was like, yeah. So it was pretty neat. Obviously theirs is better than ours ever was, but it's still a lot of like similar stuff. Just like theirs has been revamped and changed a little bit, I'm pretty sure. But it was still really neat. I'm glad I got to go. Got my mom a souvenir, of course. Got stopped at the airport for having a snow globe in my luggage. And Andrew, did you like your souvenir?
Yeah, it was very thoughtful.
You can thank Bryan for that one. I was looking at it and went, wow, what a stupid looking hat. And Bryan goes, oh, dude, you should get that for your brother. He loves pom-pom beanies.
Actually, Steph said that. I just paid for it.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe you can thank Steph then. Sorry.
What? I didn't say that.
Somebody said
Jake,
that.
you said it. You
I
said he
said it
loves
was-
I
pom
think
pom
I helped
beanies.
point it
I
out.
said
I
it
was
was-
like, he loves pom pom beanies. Like, this is
Did
not
you?
actually.
Yeah,
like,
somebody
like-
pointed it out. I said it was
Maybe it was
stupid,
Nick.
It
So. It
was
might have been.
it was like
somebody.
Andrew astral projecting because he wanted.
Yeah,
the
he
beanie.
was
me the
like-
pom-pom
he-
beanie.
I looked up and I really like pom-pom beanies. Oh, gee,
Thanks for
willikers.
thinking of me, guys.
And I was like, oh yeah, he does. Andrew does like those. And then I like grabbed it, and then I'm
then
really
I
mad
paid
that
for
we
it.
did didn't get the soap appias.
Didn't need that.
The soap that smelled like soap appias. That really upset. But other than that, we should actually end up in one of our videos coming out. We should have some of the footage from Casa Bonita, but it was a lot of fun. I could talk too long about it, so I'm going to go on and talk about the actual event. My round one, I played a guy playing Mitchell Chimino. I lost. I didn't mention I played Vax on Void. I had a good time. I think the list is very good. I think there's minor tuning, some of which was suggested by somebody. Some people might know him as Tim Keefe, but some cool suggestions there. So game one, I played against Mitchell Chimino. I lost. I didn't quite grasp how to play against it. I took game one pretty quick, so I didn't really get to play against his list. And then he killed me game two, and went to game three. And it came down to I blocked several Patrick babies, and then I was like, oh, I don't have to worry about that card anymore. And then he did a thing where he got like 3 of them back, or like several of them back or something, and killed me with them. And I was like, hey, okay, cool. Yeah, forgot you could do that.
Oh, rip.
So I lost that game. Cool dude. I actually don't think I had a single opponent that I wouldn't sit down and play with again.
Which is always great at these kinds of events, to just have a very chill, respectable opponent.
Yeah. And then after I lost that game, I was kind of like down. I was like, man, I feel like I could have got that game. Bounce back. And then round 2 pairings go up, and I look at my phone and I go, well, this isn't going to be good. After I lost my first round, I got paired into Tim Keefe.
Huh.
True.
That actually happened. So round 2, I had to play Tim Keefe, which warning for anybody listening to the podcast, there's about to be a serious overload of glazing Tim Keefe. I sit down across from Tim Keefe. Very nice guy. Fantastic. I mean, obviously I've seen some of his games. He's very good player. Very good player. I sit down. He's playing Sam Rutherford.
Huh.
Really interesting pick, and it really made me appreciate micro interactions and like figuring out where he can and should turn off enhancements and like when to hit certain buttons. And I really did feel like it made me think a little bit more technically throughout the entire event. I did end up winning this game against Tim Keefe. Spoiler. We played all 3 games. It was very good. And then afterwards, we talked a couple minutes about my deck, and he did say a couple things about like switching certain cards in my list that I really appreciated. I really, really appreciated that he took the couple extra minutes to talk to me and like give me some of his insight. He did say, he thinks Void is the symbol for Vax, which I was like, cool. Feels like I'm on a good track. And he was just super nice, like the entire game. Like when I was winning, when he won game 2, when he was like, hey, we should probably try to play a little bit faster so we don't get the time. Let's get a whole game in. And, just like at no point was he rude to me. At no point did he, I don't feel like there was at any point where he just wasn't a fantastic opponent. Absolutely loved playing against Tim Keefe. I really appreciate his insight into like my deck and like his amount of thoughts and stuff that he, passed on about my deck. And like, it was actually sick. I love playing against experienced, good players. I love learning new things about the game. And I really do attribute that win I had over him, whether he was like memeing with the deck, because somebody had said that to me over the weekend. I was like, well, it's still Tim Keefe. Tim Keefe is still a fantastic player. But I really did feel like a big bump after that. Like I was like, oh, dude, Tim Keefe just gave me advice. This is sick. I had a cool game. And it really like pumped my enthusiasm for the day. So absolutely shout outs to Tim Keefe. Thank you so much for being a cool opponent. And I hope we get to play in the future. And then I got to go right after that game. I got to play Kevin Broberg.
All right.
So I definitely felt like that. Like I was getting
warning. Here's about to be some Kevin Broberg glazing.
Here's warning. About to be a huge amount of glazing of Kevin Broberg. Actually, no glazing. I hate Kevin Broberg. No, I'm kidding. I'm absolutely kidding. That's a joke. There's a bit. It's a meme. Please, it's a meme.
Don't put it in the vine.
Don't put it in the no, Kevin Broberg was also fantastic. I didn't get any advice or anything from him, I don't think. I did have a funny moment where I played Sweeping Daggers to kind of like not necessarily corner, but like solidify the game 1. I Sweeping Daggers to Patrick baby. And when he reset the stats on my card, I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to use Patrick baby's effect. I'm going to get my damage back. And he's like, you get the keywords, so you get 2. And I was like, I get all the keywords. Every keyword belongs to me.
Yep.
And I was like, so actually I get all 4 keywords on this card, plus the keywords that are in my pool. So yeah, made it lethal again. And then I did the thing, EX'd it, made it fast, and it killed him game 1.
Patrick Baby is such a good card.
Patrick Baby is a really good card, especially when I'm playing it on a card that has better stats than Patrick Baby.
Yep.
My motto for the weekend on Sweeping Daggers is Sweeping Daggers, not a good attack. Just don't play good cards, and Sweeping Daggers is not a good card. but like the he kind of looked at me and goes, yeah, that's what that does. And in game 3, he actually sided a patchwork baby out, so the chances of seeing it were less. So I could sweep. So the chances of me sweeping daggering it again was less. He took me game 2. He was playing Tarion.
Ooh, yeah.
It was very scary list, very cool, especially when piloted by a good player. And he beat me game 3. He had all the assets and stuff. And when I went to barrier shield a lethal attack, he was able to cancel the barrier shield, and I wasn't able to block. It was is what it is. I lost that game to Kevin Broberg. Pleasure playing against him. Also a nice guy. I didn't have any issues I don't have anything negative to say about him. It was a pleasure playing him, and I hope I get to play him in the future as well. I again love playing good players. Not to say anyone else isn't a good player, but these are when you get to play against notable people who have been in the scene for a long time, it feels really good to sit across from them and like take games. So I felt really good. Like there was at no point during the weekend where I just got blown out of the water where I was just like, And then I went on to that. I played a new player. It was his first event, from what he said to me.
Oh, cool.
He played Caduceus Clay,
Caduceus,
the healer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel bad for I feel bad for the match, and only the simple fact that it was his first event, and I got to roll combined firepowers like you would not believe. I hit everything. Like I hit everything that I needed to go off for me to like just bam. Like game 1, he built. Unfortunately, got unlucky on the build, and then after his build, we're talking back and forth, and I'm trying to I'm playing with him. I'm trying to be, a good opponent. Like I'm just like, understand. But I'm playing a very toxic card. I'm playing Combined Firepower. I hate that card. That card is ridiculous. Unfortunately, though, if people just don't play it because they don't like it, it's never going to get touched, it's never going to get seen. And I think the card, especially in Vax, extremely unfair. So I'm playing it.
Here we are.
Here we are. But game 1, he stays above 30 life for like most of the game, and I'm just like, So I stack up a little bit of momentum, and then I get through most of my attack with Combined Firepowers, and I play Coordinated Strike. I end up hitting him with one attack, and then I use Coordinated Strike to hit him for like 20 something.
Jeez.
After he couldn't, it was like my third attack, so he had to discard a card, couldn't block it. Boom, health bar. Game 2 happens. I ended up stealing like Harness on Death and some other things to kind of like poke him for extra damage, and then was able to just string out into Oblivion because like I didn't have any aggressive early turns, so I just built really hard, knowing he couldn't really push me because if you're a 5-hander and you push back so you don't have enough draw outlets on board, there is going to be a point in the turn where I just start slapping you.
Yep.
You're losing on average 2 to 3 cards out of your hand just for my effects alone during the turn, which is by design. So I ended up winning that game. By the end of the game, we were talking about turtles and having a good time and, doing a little bit of laughing. I really appreciate that game. I hope that, he continues to play the game. I hope he continues to go to events. He was a good player. I don't think he did anything particularly wrong. I just had it.
I was going to say, yeah, it just sounds like you just had the nuts on top of it just being a very unfortunate matchup for him.
Yeah, it was just like when you're 5-handers into Vax are already not fun, I'd imagine, unless you have a way to continuously draw cards. And then after that game, I believe is the game. What was that? That was game 4. And then I played James.
Oh, so that actually... I thought that was... Okay, I thought that was a meme, but...
Nope, I played James. So, yep, round 5. It was round 5 because I was 3-2 at the end of our game. I did end up beating James. It was a back and forth game. I went first. I killed him. He went first. He killed me, and so on.
Yep.
I think that's how that went. Love playing against James. I play against him probably more than I want to at locals. Unfortunately, he's pretty good at the game most times. So
anytime I'm not in a tournament,
Yeah.
There you go. That's true. That's probably true.
I'm just gonna point it out here. I got to like seriously playing Universus after Andrew, James, and everybody kind of started playing. So like in a way, James and Bryan are kind of like mentors to me. Like they've kind of helped me learn how to play. Like Bryan had already had some top, and James had already had some tops under their belt before I really started playing seriously in Universus. Like I had been playing before My Hero, but I played casuals at home. And then My Hero happened and I played in locals, but I never really went to events. Like this last year was the first year that I had gone to actual events. And so I do have them to thank for like helping sculpt my ability to like play the game in a competent manner.
I just want to add an addendum. I don't think James has any tops.
Not tournament, but local stuff, sure. No,
Sure.
no tournament tops.
No
Not yet.
regional.
Working on
Okay,
it.
I'm gonna add an addendum. Shut the fuck up. Can I continue my turn?
No,
No.
that was my response.
I cancel it.
I response Genkai is your rant.
So I played James, and it was fine. It was fun. Respect to my buddy, but I won that game, so I had to continue on. I was 3-2 at that point, knowing that if I wanted to try to at least top 16, that I'd have to win out, and even then, I'd probably bubble out of top 16. So I went on to my next game, and I played against Brody from Broden Canaan. I think is his YouTube channel. We have a short interviewing him in the elevator. So I get to play against him. Warning. Intense Brody glazing.
Nope. We're not playing.
So much glazing.
Dude, I had a great
We're
time.
freaking Krispy Kreme.
And I played against a fantastic amount of people. Everybody I played was a scholar and somewhat fun to play against in some capacity, if not every capacity. So but Brody, very fun. When I sat down across from him, he goes, "Oh, you're Response on Play," and I was like, "Well, I'm not Response on Play. I'm one of Response on Play. Like it's like a little bit." And we both laughed, and obviously we're fans of his channel over here, so it was really fun to get to talk to him and going back and forth. He played Nick Reagan,
Oh,
which was fun because then I got to kind of see Nick Reagan firsthand. Game 1, I was able to kind of string it together and kill him. Game 2, he missed killing me by an attack, and so I killed him. I got it in 2. That deck does a lot of crazy stuff.
yeah.
It was just interesting at certain points. Like, you just didn't have the resources to draw at certain points, so he really had to think about what he was blocking with, or like he was committing out to try to push me. And when he did have the cards, so it was kind of like one of those things. And sweeping daggers, being able to steal true 100%,
Yep.
that is messed up.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm gonna play this on a 5. Sick. I didn't tap anything. Yeah, it's for a lot, bro. What do you got?
It's basically gonna be for your health bar. Like Sweeping Daggers is such a good card. I put this I put that card as one of my honorable mentions when we were talking about Critical Role, but boy, was I not really expecting it to really be blown up just like this.
So my thing is, I wasn't gonna play Sweeping Daggers because I didn't think it was that good. I thought, there's probably some cool tricks you can do with it, maybe, or whatever. I kind of saw it as more of a gimmick than anything else.
Same.
Bryan is actually the reason that I play Sweeping Daggers. Bryan was like, "No, dude, this card's messed up," and I was like, "Whatever, dude." And I put it in my deck, and then I saw how messed up it was while we were playtesting, and was like, "Oh yeah, this card's fucking dumb."
Like, it was just crazy, just how much the perspective can change just over time. Because at first glance, it's like, yeah, there's some cool stuff probably with this card. You play with it, run an event with it. It's like, no, this card, it's gas. It is insane.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I like Vax a lot. I think Vax is super fun to play.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to stay on Vax for a minute. It's probably the deck I'm going to play for a bit.
Vax is
Turtles. Cool. But yeah, no, like my perspective of that card shifted for sure. Bryan helped me out with that. Bryan actually is one of the main reasons my list came together the way it did. We did some co-collabing on it. But yeah, the game against Brody was very fun. Cool dude. I'm glad I got to do an elevator interview with him. Overall, great guy. Hope to get to play him again in the future as well.
All right, who else we glazing?
No, I think it's it for like my overall glazing. So I went to my last game 4-2. I'm playing a Ymir player, so I'm like, okay, I have a chance because if I can kill him fast enough, then I might just be able to take it. So game 1, that's what happens. I just like run him down, and then I mess up, and then he can't kill me. So then I kill him. Game 2 happens. I mean, he had it. Like there was literally nothing I could do. I blocked 5 attacks, and he just kept playing attacks. I didn't see enough stuff to try to set up and try to kill him early. So I was like, yeah, I tried to pressure him a little bit, and it didn't really matter. And then he played 7 attacks on me, and I'm just like,
crazy.
yeah. I mean, when I block 5 and you're still playing attacks that are most of my health bar, I guess I'll die.
Yeah, considering the Ymir can just keep stacking damage, they get out of hand quick.
It hurts for sure. Game 3, we get in this like awkward situation, and I feel like I can push him and kill him. I checked rolling 3s. I think if I don't hit the bad check 3 times in a row on all 3 attacks, my turn doesn't end. I think he dies.
Yeah.
Especially because he had taken a lot of damage early and like trying to push me a little bit more. So like his build turns were a little bit more awkward than he probably would like. But yeah, and then it rolled to it, and he's just he's got all the attacks, 700 type stuff. And I way overextended trying to kill him because it was like, this is the turn I kill him because I probably die otherwise. Because he had just been like playing super aggro. So I was like, yeah, I've got to kill him here. And then I checked rolling 3s, and sometimes that's just the way the game works. He still played fantastic. Like he didn't drop very many lines or anything like that. Great player. I don't have anything negative to say about him. We played 3 games. He played well. Going into that, I think I was at 19th place when we were looking at it, because he was talking about if we could ID and still both hit top 16. And I was like, nah, dude, I'm going to have to win this one. So I've got to play it. And he's like, are you sure? And like he checks, and I'm like 19th, and he's like 11th or something. So he ended up winning that game. I think he was just out of top 8 based on tiebreakers.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to check, but and then that obviously that loss put me at 4-3, so it put me at 30th place. Hit top 32, which was again better than I've ever placed in an event. So, or at least an event for Universus.
We take those.
We take
For
those.
Sure. Yeah.
I had a great day. I do feel like there are points throughout the day I could have done better taking a couple games, but that's kind of thing. Hindsight's 20/20. You take those, you learn from those, and you keep trying to do better. I enjoyed my list a lot. I've got some sideboard revisions and some mainboard revisions. Science Bros, cool card. Don't know if it exists in my Void Vax list. I felt like a big notable change for anybody listening that's wanting to play a similar list. Every time I saw Science Bros, it didn't do anything. Like it literally never mattered. Like it gave me a stat or 2, and then somebody would get rid of it, or I'd see it and I'd get the proc off it once or twice, or it would I would be able to use incubating on offensively to trigger and then get the response from Science Bros to negate the -1 speed. And it didn't come together. So it's probably best in a different, not in my list. It was very nice that I had a lot of people asking me about my list, taking interest in my list, wanting to see my list at some of those higher tables. It was really nice. And yeah. I'm gonna cap my yap session off by saying thank you for everybody that came up and talked to me. I had several people that came and talked to me just to talk to me, and then I had 1 or 2 people that talked to me and were like, "Hey, you're one of the Response on Play guys." So anytime I talk to anybody at an event that knows me from the podcast, I really appreciate it. It's really fun to talk to you guys, and I hope that I'm not very off-putting in person.
You are.
It's because he is.
It's because I am.
You clearly have not been hearing him throughout any of our podcasts.
It's because I'm just a jokester, dude. I just like joking and having fun.
Just a little jokester, silly little guy.
Little guy. Also, side note, thank you, Travis Tangeman. I want to shout him out. I really appreciate him giving me the idea for the elevator interviews. And he's every time I've ever interviewed him or talked to him or anything, he is super nice. I absolutely adore him. It was a good time getting to see him again because I interviewed him at Nats and then got to talk to him and do an elevator interview with him as he was in top 8. So he is absolutely in contention for one of my favorite players that play Universus, and he's very good at the game. So look forward to seeing him at more events. Also, big shout outs to him and MGLA. Most of the MGLA people are super nice.
Letters are hard.
Letters, words, speaking's difficult.
Sometimes, especially for you, apparently.
Especially for me. But yeah, that's where I'm going to end my yap session. Is thanks to all those people. Thanks for Sean O'Brien for running the event. Runs a good event. I don't have anything negative to say about Sean. He does what he does well. And the judging staff also fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like for the most part, everyone enjoyed Denver. Jake more so enjoyed the event side of things than everyone else, from the sounds of it.
Yeah,
but overall, sounds
reasons.
like yeah. I'm sorry. I don't mean to grab the salt and just freaking rub the freaking wound.
No, I do. I had a lot of fun, not only just because I did better than everyone else, but also hanging out with everybody. But also, Sam Ace Maneuvers Tate hung out with us most of the weekend. So that was pretty rad. Another person that puts on community stuff and is a fun person to watch their videos when they upload on YouTube and that type of stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
It was really nice. He actually ended up rooming with us.
True story.
And I had never met or talked to him before this weekend. So I like to think we got along famously. We had a lot of laughs. He's a super cool dude. And I look forward to hopefully collabing with him in the future for YouTube stuff.
Sam, trash this guy in the comments right now.
Don't do it! No!
No, it sounds like Denver was a very fun event for you guys. Not counting any records or anything, just overall a fun event.
Yeah, it was very fun.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a good time. It was put on very well. So.
For sure. Like, losing sucks, but like I still had fun playing in the game, even though I lost. Like everyone was super nice to me. Like I had good conversations with people. I just dropped after round 4 because I was like, well,
yeah,
that's Denver.
No, I mean that's just kind of how it goes sometimes, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Those dang fences on the side of the highway.
True. Yeah, we found out those weird fences on the side of the highway in Denver. If you didn't know, they're to keep the snowdrift off the roads.
Oh wow, okay.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Also, shout outs to our Uber driver from the airport. I definitely made him wildly uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
That's a story to tell me off recording, but
Jake's not allowed to sit up front in Ubers anymore.
Not ever since the incident with the glue and the dog.
Not since the incident.
But I kind of wish I could have went to Denver. Just personal reasons I couldn't really go. And I'm hoping to go to the next one. But when it comes to these events lately, I've just had the worst luck. We'll just have to see where it goes from there. But I'm glad you guys had a good time with Denver. Looking forward to the Street Fighter decks as well as seeing what else we get from the reward store, like what rotates in and out weekly, and just kind of looking forward to new stuff on the horizon.
You say Red Horizon?
God, I want Red Horizon.
Nobody said Red Horizon.
Nobody said it, but I'm glad that he did.
Anyway.
It's not going to happen, but I would love to see Red Horizon. Anyway, but that'll wrap it up for the podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening, watching. Greatly appreciate it. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Just be on the lookout for more content. I believe we have already uploaded, by the time this comes out, we've already uploaded a couple videos. And I believe we will have another video or two coming out. So just kind of keep your eyes peeled for any content that you may see. Also, click the bell. And do it right now, actually. Like, click it. I will listen. I will hear the bell when you click it. You're not clicking it.
You definitely won't.
You're not clicking. Click the bell.
Man ain't got no ears.
He got no ears. But I'm Andrew. I don't know how to fly this thing.
I'm Steph. That horse is haunted. I'm dead serious. Look it up. It's the Denver Airport horse. I'm serious.
I'm Jake, the new captain. There's a new sheriff in town.
Bryan, just gonna be number 2 forever.
And I'm James, just the other guy.